Hey, Stewart's Chapel, this is Don Pierson. Don Counts behind the camera, and this is Monday's devotion. And I'm continuing our look at this conversation concerning the issue of maintaining godliness and holiness and separation, at the same time being faithful to the command of sharing the gospel, loving others, and doing our best to do what Jesus did, and that was He sat and ate with sinners and publicans. And how do we do that? I've looked at various individuals, and this individual is very similar to one that I actually looked at earlier this week or last week when we talked about false teachers. But I wanted to single this man out, even though this characteristic is found in false teachers. I wanted to give it another attention. And so we're in Titus chapter 3, verse 9, 10, and 11. This is the divisive man. Avoid foolish disputes, genealogies, contentions, strivings about the law, for they are extremely unprofitable and useless. Did you hear that? Avoid foolish disputes, genealogies, contentions, strivings. Contentions is disagreements about words and interpretation of the word. Strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable. In other words, they will not help you at all. They may sound good for debates and discussion, but he's saying avoid those. They're useless. Verse 10. Reject. That's strong language. Reject. That means to expel, to do so aggressively and violently. Reject a divisive man. Divisive man. After the first and second admonition. So this individual is known for causing and stirring up strife. So you are to give them a first and second admonition. That's back to where we talked about yesterday. You're to warn them 2 times. But after that, if this individual continues to stir up strife, continues to be divisive, again, this individual is among us. Reject. Why? Knowing that such a person is warped. I like that word. In other words, God sometimes is funny. There's no punches there. God says, look, you just need to reject him. You've tried once, you've tried twice to admonish, to correct this person. This man is warped. There's no help for him. Do you understand that God is saying that? God is saying this man is warped. There's no help for this man. He's warped and he is sinning, being self-condemned. In other words, his own actions condemn him. There are certain individuals through my years of ministry that all they are known for is being divisive and strife. Sometimes they're in leadership positions. I think of a church that years and years ago, I wasn't the pastor there. I was there doing ministry, and the pastor had warned me about this individual. But this man was so rooted in the church leadership among the deacons that this man was like what John dealt with. He was a Diotrephes. He just loved to be prominent. He used his position to be divisive. Like James chapter 4, he would lead his armies, his followers, to kill and to devour, to destroy among God's people. This man is to be rejected after the first and second rebuke or warning. Rejected. Again, easier to teach and read and say, often hard to do. What if that is your family? What if you happen to be married to that person? What if it happens to be one of your children? A brother, sister, family. In my travels, I can think of one particular church. It's in East Tennessee. I will not name it. That church, that one divisive individual had grown to be a whole extended family. And that church was stuck. It was dead. It was dying on the vine. Generally, in churches like that, pastors come and go. They aren't generally able to withstand. But there's a pastor at this church that's still there. He's been there over 20-some years. That family has gone. They tried and tried. But he was well loved. And they couldn't. Everybody knew them. You know what I think is sad? And oh my goodness, I've seen this way too often. When everybody else knows that you're the problem, but you. This individual is also among the fellowship. The warning or the word of God is reject them after the first and second admonition. Paul is writing this to a young preacher, Titus. It is instruction for him how to lead the church. It's still instructions for pastors and leaders of the church today. Love you, Stewart's Chapel.